Let's turn all the lights on, 'cause we need to see the crowd going crazy. My imagination is running
Hey everybody, Kat from Dolly Root here, and I'm back today with a slightly different video. I decided to do this video after watching Melanie Murphy's video where she wrote a letter to her future self. It's part of a project called Love from Future You, and there is a website which is lovefromfutureyou.com that explains it all, so I won't get into it hugely here, but as a part of Mental Health Awareness Week, Melanie posted this video which gave some love back to her past self who went through some mental health difficulties, and watching that has spurred me to do the same myself, as I've also had a tough time with mental health issues. Some of you may know that I currently, and probably always will, suffer from anxiety, and I have been depressed in the past. Depression and anxiety actually runs in my family on both sides, so yay, I won the genetic lottery. But it is entirely overcomable, if that's even a word. You can succeed and grow and thrive. Just if you look after your mental health, you will be fine. I think it's so important to have a conversation about mental health, as there's huge stigma out there. Even still, with all the strides we've made in recent years in mental health awareness and advocacy, there's still huge stigma, and I thought long and hard about putting this video up because I'm currently in the early stages of my career and I will be looking for more jobs soon, and I do worry about the stigma that I will experience from future employers, as mental health is a little discussed thing that many people fear and many people have many misconceptions about. They say that 1 in 4 of us will have issues with our mental health at some point in our lives, and I would imagine that that is significantly underreported. I would say that there are a lot of people suffering in silence, and unfortunately some of those people will go on to take their lives. Currently about double the amount of people are committing suicide than are killed on our roads, and to me that is just crazy. When you look at the amount of money that's spent on road safety awareness, I'm not saying that money shouldn't be spent on road safety awareness, it's very important, but when you look at the amount of money that's spent on that and on all the media ads and everything compared to the amount of money that's spent on suicide prevention, it's shocking. More people are killed. Twice as many people die by suicide in this country than on the roads, and it's time that we started talking about that. It's also time that suicide awareness, prevention and coping wasn't just left to voluntary groups around the country. The government needs to do something about this. But since they can't or are unwilling to, we all need to step up and engage with mental health awareness and just talk about it. Talking will stop the stigma. Mental health issues are as common as physical health issues. So talk about it. And watch on if you'd like to see my letter to my past self, my 22-year-old self. Thanks guys. Dear 22-year-old Kat, little do you know it, but you're about to go through the worst year of your life so far. Don't be afraid, you can do this, and the other side is a much better place. You know this yourself, but you've gone through life pretty much unscathed by now. You're the classic overachiever, earning a scholarship for college, getting praise from your teachers and your mentors, one of whom offers you a postgrad and you're only in your 3rd year. But you don't realise that that little shadowy cloud that's been following you around since you were a child is going to grow so much that it will block out your sun for some time. At this point, your self-esteem is all wrapped up in your achievements, though you don't realise this. Once those achievements are stripped away from you, you have nothing to bolster you and boost your self-confidence. You're going to be in a situation where a person in power is going to bully you, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you can't get away from it for a number of months. They will take all your achievements and your knowledge acquired so far and trash them, making you feel incompetent, stupid, and worthless. This is not your fault. You were put in this placement to gain skills and to learn things that it's not possible for you to have learned so far. You're here to be taught. It's not your fault that this person doesn't want to teach you. It's not your fault that they need to derive power from making someone else feel small and worthless. It's not your fault that you can't learn and grow in this environment. You just need to get through it, and you do, and it will make you stronger. After this experience, the shadow that followed you through school will engulf you. Remember that time you passed out before your first junior cert exam? And that time that you felt like you couldn't breathe and your heart was racing a mile a minute and you were breaking out in a sweat before your first job interview? Those were called panic attacks. You will have more of them. They will not kill you, even though they will feel that way. You will get through it. It's just your body overreacting to the stress that it's going through. You'll see doctors, and they will try to help, but ultimately the best thing you can do is to see a counsellor. There is no stigma, or at least there shouldn't be, in seeing a counsellor to help you through this, even though you will feel ashamed. This anxiety is overwhelming you because your self-esteem and self-worth has been stripped away. Counselling will help you see that. You need to love yourself for more than your grades and your achievements. You are a good person. You're kind and generous. You're dedicated and hardworking. You have so much love to give. You are good enough. Do you hear me? You are good enough. This anxiety has always been with you, and it probably always will be. So you need to start looking after yourself and stop worrying what other people think of you. And stop worrying about how they act towards you. People are not against you. They're just for themselves. It's not you, it's them. When the end of your final year in college comes and goes, you're going to be put to the test. Literally, physically, and mentally. The closest people in your life, your boyfriend and your college friends, will leave you. You'll move back in with your parents, and you'll never see those people or talk to them again. You will be alone. You don't know how to be alone. This will drive you to distraction. You'll think back over every interaction you had with them, trying to figure out what you did wrong, what you could change, and how you can change the situation. This is normal, but it's not helpful. It's called rumination, and it's a symptom of anxiety and depression. You'll spend most of your time in your room, thinking these thoughts, trying to distract yourself with books, television shows, and films. And this is the point where you transition from being an extrovert to being an introvert. This has both its positives and its negatives. Before, you really drew your energy from being with other people and you didn't know how to be alone. Now, you draw energy from being alone and being away from people. This is not a good or a bad thing. It's just a change. And it's nice to be able to be in your own company and to not have to be surrounded by people all the time to be validated. you're going to be scared. You're going to be scared to put yourself out there again, put yourself on the line in case the people you care about hurt you again. Just remember, people aren't against you. People are just for themselves. It's not you, it's them. You will trust again, and you will love again. And this time it will be a much better, happier, healthier experience. You will not run away when the going gets tough and you're visited by panic, anxiety, self-doubt and depression. He will not judge you or look down on you or leave you for someone who's more fun. He'll simply fold you in his arms, tell you he loves you, and give you the support and security you need to get through it. You're currently planning your wedding, and you can't wait to marry this wonderful, wonderful man and have a family with him and make a life with him. You will leave college at possibly the worst time in 20 years to get a job. This is not your fault. You'll work in retail and customer service for quite some time. You're good at it, and it will be recognised that you're good at it, but it drains you. Sometimes it even depresses you. You're not doomed to work listening to petty customer complaints for your whole life, even though it feels that way. In a few years, you'll be able to leave this type of work and work towards something that's more fulfilling for you and in what you trained in. You're currently on the beginning of that journey, but you'll be excited for what the future holds. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep going. You will continue to have mental health issues, and you probably always will have. At this stage, one of your cousins on your mother's side has committed suicide, and one of your cousins on your father's side will commit suicide in the future. Unfortunately, mental health issues are in your DNA, so you need to look after yourself and care for yourself. That's okay. Those are the cards that life has dealt you. You are a fighter. You will excel regardless. Sometimes you lose sight of how well you've done, how far you've come, and you'll fall into darkness, hopeless about the future. All is not lost. You are not doomed. This is called catastrophization. It's a symptom of anxiety. It's just a symptom. It's not the truth. You are not your thoughts. You're smart, you're a quick learner, you're skilled, or can quickly become so. You adapt rapidly to situations and to new work and challenges. You are good enough. Do you hear me? You are good enough. You can do this. Even though your mind and your body is telling you otherwise, you can do this. And you will. Things you turn your hand to will start to flourish, as will you. Even so, in the midst of these successes, you will still have mental health struggles. You possibly always will. In fact, just a fortnight ago, you had a big anxious episode over a college deadline. Probably the worst you've had in a long time. Don't lose sight of your past and your potential. Remember your coping tools: exercise, meditation, and mindfulness. Things that boost the happy hormones in your body, which probably tend to be a bit low, and also take you out of the thoughts that are going through your head. Remove yourself from them and just watch them as they come and go without attaching any emotion to them. That way you can watch them pass, not getting caught up in it and making things escalate and get worse. Even if you fail, you are not a failure. Your achievements do not define you. You are a good person and you are good enough. You will succeed, even if you fail a few times first. It will make you strong and tenacious. You can do it, even when you think you can't. Watch your stress levels and use your self-care tools. Don't leave things till the last minute because they're making you anxious, or you have a sense of dread about them, or your self-esteem is all wrapped up in them. They're important to you. The stress and panic this causes you is not worth it. You can do it. You can do it, even when you think you can't. Your hard work will be recognised, and it will spur you on to do greater things. You are good enough. Do you hear me, Kat? You are good enough. Remember that, and take care of yourself.
I didn't even notice the sound my body cares about this guy that's falling on
Product addict tag video. It's very hard to say that nearly